Hi and welcome to Sketching the World. Today we're doing a sketchbook tour. The sketchbook I used when I was in South Korea. I've got a cute little tiger stamp. It says, "Hey tiger, don't freak out, stay cool." This is the Moleskine sketchbook. I'll put the details in later. I've just stuck some things here. I went to the David Hockney exhibition and I've got a video that includes some of that, and then I just really like this business card. Before I left, I swatched the materials I was taking with me to see how they worked with the sketchbook. I've also got that in another video where I'm packing for my trip to South Korea. So we'll start at the airport. I was sketching while I was in the cafe waiting to board my plane, and there was these two people sitting in the cafe. Then I had a stopover for about 9 hours in Singapore, which was, a lot of time to be spending in the airport. And I went up to the cactus garden and drew this. This is the silhouette of the cactuses and part of the airport behind. I was trying to get the light, but I'm not sure that come out so well. Then when I got to Seoul, got into Seoul Station. I went and had a coffee and sat and drew Seoul Station. That's mainly, I did the line work in Caran luminance pencil and then added some marker. I think it's all Faber Castell watercolor markers. Then the next day I was going to have barbecue lunch and had some time to kill. So it wasn't a very exciting building, but just while I was having my coffee, I sketched this building across the street. I really like these lights. And that again is in the watercolor markers, the Faber Castell watercolor markers with some fine liner pen. And this is it's the library, the National Library in Seoul. I sat on the street and did that. It was really interesting building. And then actually after I sketched this, I went to the library. You can go up into these bits here. That's all rooftop garden, so it was really nice. Pretty much all of these are in Faber Castell watercolor markers with the Caran pencil. This was from sitting on the roof of the library looking at Seoul Tower. I'm kind of a bit not entirely happy with the composition of this because I've got the hill coming out here. I wish I had done that either up a bit higher or down a bit lower so that, it doesn't really give the impression of looking at the hill through the buildings. So that's that one. Then I have no idea what this palace was, but I went to the palace and I sat and did some sketching with, again, the same materials. The next day I went to sit at a little cafe near where I was staying, and this was just the building across the street. I used the gouache sticks, these guys. It's actually poster paint stick, and put down the main shapes for this one, and then went in with coloured pencil. Oh, this is also gouache stick down here. And I really like how the paint stick, it amazes me. I always expect it to not dry, but it dries really well, and isn't sticky or anything. And the colour's quite nice. I really like the colour's got a nice glow to it. So then I went to the Han River and sat and did some sketching. The life boy. This was in neo colours. Then I went to Seoul Forest and sat and did this in marker and coloured pencil. I've got video where I show sketching this in the forest. I went for a walk around Seoul Forest, but I didn't do much more sketching there because I was starting to feel really sick. So I ended up leaving before I got to even have a good look around. I went back to my apartment. Then this was when I went to Busan, the coloured houses. I've got some of this in another video, and I've also got my live stream where I was drawing this, doing some more drawings from a photo. But yeah, this is all in coloured pencil, completely coloured pencil. So hard to get all the little buildings. Just my eyes were getting lost with all the detail. Then I went back to my hotel and I had a gorgeous view out over the water. So I did some sketching there. This was a pretty simple sketch, looking from my hotel room balcony. Then this one here, that's in paint sticks, and then some coloured pencil over the top. This one was mainly in coloured pencil. I've used the Faber Castell watercolour markers for the water. It was so hard too with these boats because you just can't see the detail. There's just, it all sort of merges into one, especially looking from a distance. Then that night I decided I wanted to do a night scene, but yeah, it didn't work out so well. I started off with watercolour, and watercolour wasn't working that well for me. My whole plan was to do use oil crayons to do all the reflections and then go over with watercolour and have the oil crayons be a resist. But when I started doing that, it didn't really work. So then I got stuck in and used Neo colours on the wet paper. And I've actually torn the paper in a few places. Yeah, I just overdid that completely. Then some more boats the next day. That was just a simple, yeah, just using the indigo luminance pencil, dark indigo. Then I did this. This was all the nets and lines and everything of the boats. I like that one a lot better. And then this was another one of the boats, just in coloured pencil again. This sketch, I took the hop on hop off bus around Seoul and I got off at the wrong stop. I told a story in one of my other videos about how it was pouring down with rain and this guy was yelling at me and saying, "Come here, come here." I ignored him. Got off the, this is when I first got off the bus, ignored him. He was just driving past, and then a few minutes later he comes running over to me and gives me an umbrella, which was really nice. But yeah, I had to sit at the bus stop for about half an hour or maybe 20 minutes to wait for the next bus. And so I was just sketching across the road, just a pretty simple sketch. I am really terrible at drawing umbrellas. Umbrellas are my nemesis. But yeah, I got a bit of it in. This old lady sitting beside me, she wanted me to move so her friends could sit down. When I say old, they probably weren't that much older than me. She wanted me to move so her friends could sit down, so she kept elbowing me and stuff. It was really quite awkward. Then I stopped. I wanted to go to a market, but first I went and had coffee, and this was the shop across the road. All in coloured pencil again. Then, yeah, this was at the market, Tongian market, and I was waiting for my corn dog to get cooked, so I sketched the little market stall opposite me. And that was all in Faber Castell watercolour markers. This was, I wanted to do a sketch. I was doing the 3 materials challenge, and so my plan was to go out and just sit in a cafe and do some sketching. It was pouring down with rain, and I'd looked up cafes around my apartment on Google Maps. And then when I went out, I used 2 apps, Google Maps, and there's a Korean one as well. But when I went out to find the cafes, they had all disappeared. I had no idea, whether they'd shut down or whether they just put the roller blinds down because they weren't open. But there was a little little just hole in the wall place. It's a Portuguese tart, so I got a Portuguese tart and a coffee and went back to my apartment and sketched this. And this was actually, when I was out walking around in the rain, I took a photo of this bicycle in front of the store. And I drew that from the photo, I didn't draw it. I didn't sit there in the rain and sketch. And that's all in coloured pencil. I bought this really bright green coloured pencil while I was in Seoul, and I really just love the way it pops. Then this, I don't like this. I was sitting in a cafe again, and this was the balcony. I really wanted to get sort of the contrast of the plants, really bright plants against the dark wood, and I don't think that worked at all. Then this is from, I did a video, I went to an abandoned amusement park in Seoul. You can go there and just check it all out, check out the abandoned amusement park. People use it for photo shoots and a lot of things like that, videos, music videos. And this picture made me laugh so much. This horse, oh. So that was one of the sketches at the amusement park. Another one, this was one of the signs for the rides. And this was done in dark indigo luminance, yellow neo colour, and red. I think red's a luminance pencil as well. Then, yeah, the carousel with the sign behind it, Magic Land. This one, I kind of feel like doesn't really show the sort of rust and decay and abandoned feeling of the place. So it's kind of like, it's an okay sketch, but it's not really doing what I want. Then this one, I went to a cafe. Then for the 3 materials challenge, I used a red wax crayon. The green is watercolor marker, and then the dark indigo luminance pencil for that one. I just really liked sort of these windows on that building. I thought they were really interesting. Then I went to a food, not a food, a, what do you call them, shipping container. It's a shopping centre made out of shipping containers. And this was like looking over and seeing part of the rest of the building. I was a bit disappointed. The food places were all really good there, but the shops were all just like Nike and Foot Locker and stuff like that. Nothing that you couldn't see anywhere else in the world. And this was in, I think it's a blue luminance pencil, the dark indigo luminance pencil, and a bit of, I think the yellow's neo colour. Then I was staying, it was like half a block walk to the Han River from where I was staying. So I went down that night, and the last night I was there, and did some night sketches looking over the river. This one was all in neo colour. And yeah, it was quite nice sitting there doing some sketching. Then I did this one. I went in with the, what are they called? Watercolor markers, trying to get all the dark colours down. And then used oil crayon over the top to get the pop of the lights, like that glow of the lights. And I really liked how that worked. I thought it was a great way to do a night scene, to get the whole night darkness thing happening. So yeah, it was really fun sitting down by the river sketching too. I was a bit sorry that I waited till my last night to do that, or I would have gone back and done some more. Then flying home, this was at Singapore Airport. I really wanted to get the hideousness of this carpet. That was the main thing. And yeah, people coming and sitting in the seats around me. I was really so sick when I was at Singapore Airport. I spent most of it. I went and got a hotel, short stay hotel room, and slept for most of it. But this was, I still had a couple of hours to kill before my flight. Then this is something I don't normally do, but because I hadn't used up all my sketchbook and I wanted to do some more sketches of Seoul, so I thought it was good to put them all in the one place. And this was from a photo of where I'd been from my hotel room with the boats and everything. got a lot more detail in this. And that was all done in coloured pencil. Then this was that was Busan. And this was the fish market in Busan. I love these squids hanging down. They just look crazy, especially against the red tarp overhead. And I still have quite a few pages left. This was just swatching of art materials I bought when I was there, and more swatching. So thanks for joining me on my sketchbook tour, and make sure if you want to see more content like this and you're not already subscribed, to hit the subscribe button. If you like this video, click like, it always helps, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.